Hi, today I'm going to show you how to set up a static site on AWS using Terraform. And we will be using CloudFront S3 for the storage of the files and the Route 53 hosted zone and DNS setup. This quick agenda. I already have a domain registered, but I'll show you how you can register a domain. On AWS. It's important because then you can manage everything in one place. I prefer to just keep everything. If I'm hosting stuff on AWS, I'll just have domain there and all the other resources on AWS. So it's just easier to manage with Terraform. We'll create a private S3 bucket where we'll put the HTML files. We'll create a DNS hosted zone for all the DNS records like www and root domain, and also for the SSL certificate validation. We'll set up SSL certificate for the root domain and www domain. And we will create a CloudFront this distribution for CDN and serving this content from the S3 bucket. And at the end, I'll just do a quick review. Why Terraform template? Why use Terraform? It just makes it much easier. You can do everything in the UI. You can also use CloudFormation. That's equivalent of Terraform that AWS Amazon uses and Amazon created. But Terraform is used for other stuff, so it's good to know how to do it using Terraform. It's a simple template to set up a static website. What do I mean by simple? Well, it's very simple. As long as you have AWS credentials set up in your terminal and you have a domain, registered domain, all you have to do is just do Terraform apply, and you set this domain variable to the root domain, and everything will be done for you. If you have ever set up something similar using, for example, AWS GUI, you probably know that it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of clicking around, and it's a lot of annoyance, and it takes quite a while. I don't know, maybe if you run into a couple of problems, maybe like 2 hours. If you don't know what you are doing, it's probably longer. If you know what you are doing, you could probably do it in like 40 minutes. However, with this Terraform template, you can do it in 10-15 minutes max, and it's all automated. And also, you can check in into GitHub and have a full history of all the changes that you have made. So here is a quick overview, a diagram that shows the quick overview, how all these pieces work together. And we will set up all these pieces using Terraform. So when there is a incoming request from the browser, the first thing that browser does, it looks up the domain name, and it will get the domain information from registrar. It will get the name servers for the domain. These name servers are hosted by AWS, and they use hosted zone, DNS hosted zone, to serve the records, such as root domain, www, SSL certificate records, validation records, and they point to CloudFront via DNS alias, and CloudFront then provides us with caching. It uses HTTP headers for caching. You can disable that, query strings, etc. There's a lot of option, but since we are doing static website, we'll be very aggressive on caching. So we'll just cache pretty much everything, and do not allow for any of the dynamic site requirements, which you can change on your own if you need to host a dynamic site. CloudFront gets the HTML files on the first request from S3 bucket. This communication is private. Bucket is not public. We will set up a policy that will allow a CloudFront to access the bucket And we also will set up SSL certificate for the root domain and www subdomain. And all of this, except for the domain registration, will be done via Terraform. And this diagram should give you a like high-level overview how all these pieces work together. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing, which is looking at the domain registration in AWS.